Hello everybody, we're here with a brand new deck profile, and this time we're sticking with the water theme. I know we've been doing a lot of water decks. We'll eventually taper off of it eventually, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. I don't really do water decks too much, so yeah, with a new pack, I feel like it's kind of necessary. But this deck is going to be focusing around Super Ancient Deep Sea King Coliacanth. This deck is actually created by another YouTuber. I'm gonna have his stuff right over here. Majority of, I would say like 99% of the deck is exactly the same list that he is using. The only things that are a little bit different is I only had enough to craft 2 of the Deep Sea King, so we only have 2. But other than that, I think most of the deck is. Oh, we're also not running, he normally was running rare. If you guys are familiar with rare fish, you would run rare fish with, was it the only difference is you'd remove this one stealth Kraken. So you'd remove one of these and put in a rare fish, and you'd put in instant fusion and 2 ready fusions. I think that's mainly what's missing in this deck. That and 1 Super Ancient DC. I think he plays with 48. But we're gonna test this deck out. We're gonna play some matches in ranked. We're in diamond, so we're gonna play some matches in diamond with it. The deck has a lot of different plays and lines that you can do with it. So yeah, we're gonna test it out, and then we're gonna give a recap what we actually think about the deck after actually testing it out. Alrighty. Hello, we're here for game number 1, and we are against Kurama. This guy is a big fan of Naruto. Naruto. Oh, Naruto, it's so big. Oh, whatever. Forget about that. We're so this is one of the basic combos you do with the deck. You play Lifeless. So you can special summon 10 Spirit first, obviously. Play Lifeless Leafish, and then Lifeless Leafish sends a Deep Sea. Then you go into number 60, and then number 60 is going to use its effect to bring back the Deep Sea King. And then from here, if your opponent has nothing to interact with you, you can go off King. So the first thing we go into is Trishula, Dragon of the Barrier. And this is going to rip apart a card from his hand. He's playing Cyber Dragon. Actually a pretty good deck to be going second versus us. Cyber Dragon is known for breaking the board very easily. So now we go into Water Charmer, and then we go into Anemia. This is a clear space. That's the only reason why we do this, clear space. And then we activate this to draw a card, because I don't really want to discard Maxi. It'd be nice having Maxi play it in his opening draw. Especially now that we know he's playing Cyber Dragons. We go into Baron. We go into Bahamut Shark. Now, if you're locked into water, this is where, if you're locked into water, you go into Chen Ying. But other than that, Baron DeFleur is better, and it's only worse if you have a the trap, the barrier trap in the graveyard. You actually go barrier trap. But I end up going into Buzzsaw Shark here. Normally you go into barrier statue. But since my opponent's gonna have a very easy way of dealing with, actually, what's the exact reasoning? Oh, barrier statue's in the graveyard. Yeah, we got unlucky and we had barrier statue in the graveyard, so we couldn't actually summon it. So this is what you do. This is what you do if you can't summon barrier statue from the Deep Sea Prima Donna's effect. So if you can't summon barrier statue, you actually just summon Buzzsaw Shark. And then you can go into Stealth Kraken, and then obviously use the last thing to go into Totally Awesome. And this more or less is your best end board. You have Totally Awesome, you have 2 Omni Negates, a Spell Negate, and you have a pop. Normally you'd have the barrier statue, but we honestly don't really have that like a way of protecting it, which is unfortunate. But our opponent's playing Galaxy Soldier. I mean, he plays a Galaxy Soldier. So, I want to point this out. So, I did this for content on stream. You could watch it at Twitch TV. So, I literally was telling the chat, I'm gonna negate it with this, then negate it with this, then negate it with this. So that's the reason why I negate it like so many times over. You gotta do some things for content sometimes, you know? And I was kind of losing my mind a little, so I was like, you know what? We'll just keep, we're just gonna keep doing this. Because if we're being real, like honest, like if you really didn't want to deal with this, you negate with Totally Awesome, and then Totally Awesome steals this card, so you can't actually use the effect to reoccur it. If you really just didn't want to deal with it. But again, I'm a troll and an idiot, so this is kind of what I did. So, he activates Core, he gets Emergency, and then he activates Machine Duplication, but I have Steve Stealth Kraken on the field, so not really going to work too well for him. I can pop it in Retaliation, and then it misses its target. Boop! It just dissipates. So, GG to our friend Karamba. Alrighty, we're here for game number 2, and our hand is actually complete ass. So, Brick Central. So, he plays Armageddon Knight. I wasn't sure if he was on, if for some reason he was on, like, Orcus, so I didn't want him sending Harpora to Graveyard. But ends up he's playing just Dark World. He's playing Dark World Danger, which is pretty a neat gimmicky deck. Pretty much the deck is gonna end on an Appaloosa and maybe something else. That's typically what you're gonna see. This is very common too to go into Yugioh. Yugioh is such a good card. I love this card. So good. Then you got Danger, Danger, Danger. Kinda lucky. Very lucky top deck here. Oh my, dude, like, look how fucking insanely lucky that is. He top decks into 2 darks, right? And the one dark is the one of Cyberstain that he has in the deck. Damn, that's all I can say. So now we can't activate any spells. This card pretty much says you can't play Spell and Trap. So no Spell and Traps, pretty much boned out of that. So our actual goal here is to just, make an Appaloosa use 2 charges here. So we're gonna go into Marine Cess. Marine Cess is gonna use its res, and then Appaloosa is going to negate. I think it's because he thinks that we can have more plays here, but he doesn't realize their deck sucks. So we just set a card and we kill the Appaloosa. 1 problem down. So they play Ice Barrier. He negates the Ice Barrier. Okay, cool. This is fine. So, this is another tip I want you guys to do. Alright? So, in the damage step, after damage is calculated, activate Ice Barrier again. He can't actually use the negate. It's just how the game works. So now we have Gamma Steel. Now we can get rid of the... Well, another problem down, and then we just pass. We're still on a pretty quick clock, though. He uses card destruction. I could have stopped this with Ash, but I was like, dude, my hand sucks. I need something. We draw into a Tenyi Spirit, which is a crazy, crazy good out, to be honest. Then Angler. So this is pretty much GG right here. I'm like 90% sure my opponent was watching the stream because he just concedes when he sees I have the Silent Angler. Because otherwise there's no reason to concede there. Like he had the game, unless I had Silent Angler where I can actually do other plays. So I thought this was a little strange. It doesn't really matter, honestly, because if our opponent has the cards they need, it doesn't really matter at this point. But just thought it was interesting. It was a pretty good game, though. I was really surprised we were able to come out of that. Hello, we're here for game number 3. And for anyone saying, oh, it doesn't mean how is he walking the stream? You're so small, blah, blah, blah. I have my Fatzoid TTV in my damn name. Like, it's pretty obvious if you know anything about, like, if you see that, the person's probably streaming. Let me check Twitch. Not very hard. Like, I get a lot of people I play against that come into the stream, either during or after. Which is why it's there to begin with. So, if anything, it's my own fault. So I'm not blaming my opponent there. Because it is forced upon me, right? I am the one that is doing it. to speak. Triple Tactics is going to be very nice here. So we're going to be able to go in the Marine. So we're trying to bait out a hand trap. We bait out the Effect Veiler, so now we can Triple Tactics, which is very nice. So we dealt with Maxi, Called by the Grave, Effect Veiler, and now we get Ashed. Pretty neato. Really love to see it. But now there's most likely he won't have Ash for this Maxi. So you have to look at like the positives versus the negatives, right? Sometimes they got it, sometimes they don't. You really gotta. So now we see he's playing this Onomatopoeia deck. And he has Nibiru, one random card in his hand, and then those two cards. He's gonna imperm my lane in case this is an imperm. So, and then I Maxi him. He has no answer to Maxi, and he concedes. Hello, we're here for game number 3, and yeah, we opened up pretty horrible. Because the big reason why we opened up horrible is because we the barrier stack is just kind of a brick. And then our opponent imperms us, which is another massive, like, brick kind of. We're pretty screwed here, to be honest. If I was hoping it was like a hand trap, so like Effect Veiler or something, so we can Triple Tactics, get some advantage, but it was not, alas. So he's gonna Eldritch me. Like, honestly, all this is kind of fine though, right? Like the thing about Eldritch is it's powerful, it's annoying, but it can't OT. Most of the time, it can't OTKO you. So we gotta figure out what we're doing here. I draw Maxi again, kind of redundant, but we're at least one card deeper in the deck, which is helpful. And I can also Maxi his turn, which he's probably gonna set Sanguine here anyway. So. Alright, so we probably lose this because all he has to do is activate this trap, pop Deep Sea when it's summoned, and we lose, right? He activates Sanguine. We activate Maxi. And our opponent Ash Blossoms. So we pretty much have this game lost, right? So all he has to do is activate this back row card and we lose. We lose the game instantly. He summons his little zombie card. He Monster Reborn, but remember, people don't know what cards do. So he doesn't know how powerful this card is. So instead of me using Triple Tactics to draw, I don't want to give my opponent a reason to stop me from doing this. So I activate this ability immediately. And then boom. Look at that. He pops a card, but it's too late. Now we can go with the White Aura Monosaurus. It's already too late. Get ready. Your seed has been sowed. We go into Trishula. Trishula's effect activates. We banish. 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 Completely devastated. Dude, my opponent's so boned. I bet he really wishes he set that Called by the Grave. Oh my gosh. Look at that. This is just disgusting. I have no idea why he did not just set Called by the Grave. I think he was being greedy. Like, I don't know. Maybe he was being too overly cautious. But now we go into Coralimia, bring out Barrier, and now we have protection for Barrier. So, if for some reason, if he somehow lived this, even though he's 100% lethal regardless, he somehow lived this, there's no way he can out the Barrier because we have Kraken to stop any card coming back. And GG, game over. Alrighty, we're here for game number 5, and our hand is pretty broken, in my opinion. We got Ash, Maxi, and then we have all our starters, pretty much. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, this Deep Sea Corinth is broken as hell, right? Like, when you're actually able to resolve it, it's pretty fucking busted. The fact that it's not a hard once per turn is stupid as hell. We'll do Banish. Oh, they're playing sharks too. Twinsies. Twinsies. Don't you love it when it's a twinsies situation? You know what's actually funny? Our opponents actually, because I actually looked it up prior. I remember. He's actually playing sharks, but it's like such a stupid, lame version of sharks. He's playing the version where you go into Crooked Cook and you just wait to draw Exodia out of your deck. Like, that's exactly what he's playing. So it's actually very, very good for us to be going first. Because if we did not go first, this is probably a loss. Make sure you don't use Bahamut Shark's ability until the end, because you need the room for this combo. Because you go into Donna. Because you remember, you have, what do you call it? You need to get Princess out of the graveyard so you can go to Dragite. And Donna's going to shuffle that back in. He's locked in. The barrier statue is absolutely useless, by the way. Horrible. Horrible against that. So he maxi their opener. He Gamer Seals my because remember, barrier statue is horrible against this. We draw. We're actually going to totally awesome this. So the reason why our opponent's boned here, right? And then he called by the grave. We could have just sent the barrier statue, and that probably was a better play. Just send the barrier statue, just so we don't get called by. But we have Dragite here to protect anyway. But we take the shark, so he can't revive it or anything the combo back. And he just concedes. There's nothing else for him to do. Because there are cards, if he had like Monster Reborn or something, he could have brought it back and then start doing more shit. Alrighty, we're here for the final and 6th match. It's probably the final. I gotta decide. Maybe we do 7 games. I don't know. These games are kind of short. So we max our opponent, but they're playing Live Twin and they smell, so they automatically always have the hand trap. If you guys ever played against Live Twin, since all their cards are just 1-card combos, like they've run like 600 hand traps. The deck literally has like over 20 hand traps in it. Really annoying. Just saying. Just saying. So he's doing this whole little femboy combo. And yeah, he's pretty much just going into Sunny. They get a lot of drawing too from the Kisa kill. Like, look, he has probably 3 hand traps in hand and 1 card face down. So we're gonna send the Foolish Burial Goods. We activate Ice Barrier. Ice Barrier is also a card that can grab Ice Jade, so just remember that. So we're gonna summon. So this is what's crazy. So he activates Max C. If we just pass turn, we lose the game, right? So we obviously can't do that. So what do? We're gonna now if our opponent plays this correctly, if this is a interactive spell, so if this is like Imperm or something, we lose the game from this position no matter what. But if it's not, we can win the game, right? If our opponent doesn't know what this card does, we win the game if he just activates only 1 card. Because I play Right Hand Shark first, right? And yes, you could have played Barrier Statue, but this is better. This is better. Because if he tries to target the Deep Sea Ancient King, he has self-protection, so I contribute 1 other fish monster to negate the effect and destroy the card, right? So if he tries to special summon Kisakil and Lilal, right? Lilal's effect is a targeting ability, so I can pop it. So if this is nothing, I don't have to worry about it. But if it's something, I just lose the game anyway. So let's see. I'm going to activate the Deep Sea King. So this is summoned on the field. He activates a card. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to negate this. Right? So now I have the 4 spaces open again. So now I can activate this ability, get full value. He already fucked up. He already fucked up horrendously. So he was supposed to, after that got negated, he was supposed to chain this ability to pop this before I can hit this ability. But since he did not, now I can summon all 4 cards. Now he's panicking, right? realizes his mistake after I read a Trishula. I already summoned Trishula. Trishula is non-targeting. It's non-targeting banish. So now, our opponent is going to panic. He activates Evil Twin Sunny, right? We activate Max C, get some drawing out of this, right? And the way chains work, since both these monsters hit the field immediately, and then my chain hits, because all these chains happen pretty much at the same time, my chain hits, it's going to banish this before this even gets an effect on the field, right? And since this also doesn't get an effect because there's no Lilo. So now I can just go into White Aura Monorosis, right? And then this card is going to bring back Deep Sea, right? And he just scoops. I looked through his deck. He does not run Nibiru, so he had no other cards to counter this. Even if he top decked Imperm in his deck, he would not be able to counter counter everything I was doing. He was pretty much boned. There's no way he was going to come back from that. Pretty good. We're back at the recap, and thank you for watching this video so far. If you guys can subscribe, hit the like button, and let me know what you want to see next. It is most appreciated. I try and do this content as best as I can. Still working and trying to really make it my own. So any type of support really helps. You just watching the video really helps me out. But let's get into how the deck performed and how everything happened. So, first things first. How did the deck perform? So I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. You guys can go back, watch the 4-hour vlog of me playing the deck on Twitch, right? My Twitch channel is always in the description. You guys can always do that. The beginning games, I think I lost the first 4 games. I think most of them were because I bricked. I was just bricking. It felt like I was bricking every game. So I was also losing coin tosses every game too, which obviously is not very good for a deck that wants to be going first. Clearly, like, we don't really have many going second cards. So with that all being said, the deck actually still performed pretty decent. Like, I was so skeptical of the deck, and I still am kind of semi-skeptical because the combo can get interrupted relatively easy. But when you do the combo, it's like auto win. It really does feel like you cannot lose. Like, you talk about Marine Sass. Well, Marine Sass is good, but it's not going to stop 3 negates. It's not stopping 3 negates. Because remember, Totally Awesome's negate, it actually butt-fucks Marine Sass too. Because it steals their card. The fact it steals their card is massive. Because pretend they summon Pascal. Pascal activates its effect to try and special summon, and guess what? They have Seahorse in hand anyway, so if you imperm it, they can special summon the Seahorse anyway and do full combo. Guess what? Totally Awesome steals a Pascal, so now you can't even use Pascal for material to go into Marine Cest, whatever. So it's actually, like, it's very potent when you get your combo in the field. If you have the rare fish and you have the instant fusion and the ready fusion, I do recommend you play it because I think it would be worthwhile playing that in the deck. I also think if you have enough to craft 3 super ancient deep seas, I actually think it's worth it as well, because Ice Jade Tremora can be found off of Ice Jade Cradle, and it also can get found off of Foolish Burial Goods. Because remember, you can send Ice Barrier and then combo. Because both these cards in your hand, you can full combo. Even if you're locked into waters, it's completely fine. Because you don't have to go into the only time you're screwed if you locked into waters, if you really need to go into number 60, because obviously that's not a water type. But yeah, the deck performed really well. So kudos to the person who created this deck. I'm gonna have their YouTube channel linked down below. Show them some love if you really like this deck. It seems like all they do is play fishes. So, I mean, if you guys... Spiffy, who's a part of the community for a bit, he keeps calling him the fish god. So I'll just call him too. He's fish god. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. But the deck overall performed pretty well. It actually performed better than I thought. So, I'm not going to knock it too much. On a power scale level, so like a 1 to 10, I'm still going to give it probably like a 7.5. Because I don't think it's like super consistent. But if you get your combo off, I mean, it's pretty devastating. It's probably, like, if your opponent has no hand traps, it's probably like a 9. Like, you're making a board that's, like, devastating. But the fact is, when you're playing in Diamond or higher, your opponent's going to have hand traps. So, I can't give it a higher score than 7.5. And it's definitely on the rogue tier. You're really not going to run into this on ladder. The amount of times... Also, the amount of games I've played where I'm telling you right now, if you play this in gold, plat, and even probably mostly diamond too, like nobody's like, if they see your beginning cards, like the beginning cards you play, they're not going to think you're playing fucking super ancient deep sea King Goliath. Because this card gets screwed over by Ash because Ash doesn't target, right? So he actually can't use his negate to stop Ash. Dude, there were so many games where people were holding Ash. Like, I was trying to bait out Ash, and they were holding Ash because they knew I was going to play Deep Sea Goliath, even though I didn't have it in the graveyard or anything. Kind of crazy. Kind of nuts. So, kudos on my opponents for either being very well informed about what this card can do, or stream sniping. It's one of those two. But it's pretty impressive. The deck actually worked pretty good, though. I recommend his stuff is pretty good. I don't know if anything from the new pack would really be played in the deck, to be completely honest. I feel like it would just make it more bricky, you know? But there is a world where you probably can replace Tenyi Spirit, right? With, you could probably replace Tenyi Spirit with possibly... No, this card would not work. Because this card can only go into Bahamut Shark if you have other shit. Yeah, never mind. Never mind. But this card does search out the Silent Angler for you, too, though. Which is pretty nice. It's actually pretty sick. Maybe a Bishark might be pretty good in the deck. Not 100% sure. Maybe we could all ask the Fish God and see what he thinks about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and give some love to the guy who made the deck, and let me know what you guys want to see for the next video that comes out. I'm gonna start doing some different content. Still gonna be Yu-Gi-Oh related, but like maybe replays and stuff like that of like people in the community. So let me know if you guys are gonna enjoy that type of content too. All right, goodbye, guys.